Parenting is a joy. They should enjoy it. So most of the time parents come to me and say, how do I handle my child? And I wonder, is it a door that you have to handle them? They are the gift given to you by Almighty. Just enjoy. They are given to you because you deserve.
Yeah. And then that again whole vicious cycle of fear starts. Aane do papa ko, batati hu, and all of that starts.
Absolutely.
And then the child grows up actually hating the father. If it's a guy child, he grows up and then he actually realizes the kind of effort the father has actually put in.
Absolutely right.
And all your life, you have wasted that bond thinking he's a bad guy. Hello and welcome, guys. Welcome to another episode of our podcast. Today we have Sonal Andrews with us. Her husband, Dr. Ravi Andrews, was with us on one of our podcasts. So it's high time that we also get her on. And knowing that the colorful, happy personality that she is, it made me more interested in knowing her personally rather than just make a podcast for viewing. So thank you so much for being on our podcast. So for our viewers, let us just start step by step with the so many things that you do.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. And I hope we have fun together in this coming 1 hour. So I come from Mumbai, born and brought up in Mumbai. All my studies happened there. And then after a year of marriage, I shifted here and life changed. I was a pathologist to begin with, worked in around 8 years in different hospitals and clinics. And after that, there was a break because I became a mom, a lucky Indian woman who is enjoying a motherhood at home because her husband says, just sit back and enjoy yourself. So that's a facility only Indian woman has, mind you. So I availed it and I had fun with my daughter. When I put her in school, her teachers were thrilled with her and they started suggesting, why don't you become a teacher? Never thought of it because I knew how to play with children. I didn't know how to teach them. That brought me to diploma in early childhood education. After 1 year of training, I got bitten by a bug called child psychology and I wanted to pursue it further. Luckily for me, eventually I got absorbed in the same institute as a faculty and coordinator. Meanwhile, I finished my master's in psychology. One fine day in 2013, the academy decided that they'll shut down. So that was a time where I had to decide what to do. Whether sit at home and reduce my weight or focus and go in some other school. By the time I had good connections with a lot of schools, do that or else start something on my own, which my passion is. And with my husband's solid support, I just started off becoming an entrepreneur. And that is when IPTTA, Integrated Preschool Teachers Training Academy, was born. This is the 10th year. And I can say we have done pretty well because I started with 2 as staff member. Now I have 23 people working at IPTTA. I started with 13 students. Now I have alumni of 600. And last year we had 50 students offline. And we had 95 students online.
So last year alone, you had 100 plus.
Yes.
That's nice.
So it's a joy what I'm doing. As my husband says, you have fun and you get paid. So why not? So I enjoy being with children and this is my way to be with them to make their future brighter and more meaningful.
So with the work that you do right now, the ultimate benefiter is the child, right? But also the people who are working with the kids, how do you identify the right ones? And your job is more to, fine tune it and sculpt them and get them ready to provide the best possible for the kids, right? So how do you handpick those people?
So we don't get to handpick. They come to us who are interested in becoming early childhood educators. So I tell everybody they are my babies. They are women between 20 to 50 years who are graduate or postgraduate. And they invest their 1 year with us in diploma in early childhood education and psychology. So they spend from July to April 1 year, 9 to 12, Monday to Friday with us. We are a team of 7 mentors and we teach theory, practicals. We try to first work with themselves because I believe in women, making them aware of what has to be taught is not as important. However, emotional empowerment is what we need. Understanding what we are, who we are, and what we are capable of, that is more important. Because in a classroom, there is only one adult, and that is a teacher. So as an adult, what is my job is not only to teach A to Z or 1 to 20. My job is to understand the need of the child. Before that, understand what are my triggers.
Yes.
How do I balance my behavior? Because child is going to copy me as it is. So this is what we work very, very consciously with. And the results are beautiful. My students, when they are employed in any school, within 2-3 years, they get better roles. They immediately, grow. And I think we are doing a good work with them.
That's nice. So, like you said, they come to you, right? That brings me to this question. I personally had seen this. There was a phase, especially in Hyderabad, that a lot of these kids, school for kids, preschools and all, they were just opening left, right, center everywhere possible. Like you said, the Indian women has that advantage of staying home and taking a break. There was a phase where women didn't like that. They wanted to make money of their own, right? And they found this job to be easy since they know how to be around kids, or they feel like they know how to be around kids rather. So these kind of people, they would do it just for the money or out of hobby, thinking it's just a 4-hour, 5-hour job. Get done, take your money, and then just enjoy. So those kind of characters, I am sure, still exist. So you have two options now. You either get to groom them, turn them around, make them better, or let go of them. So let us assume you decide to groom them. What is that journey like?
Thank you so much for asking, because this is not only problem in Hyderabad. All over India, you will find that most of the early childhood educators are the women who speak a bit of English, who are interested in spending that amount of time and commit their time and effort into this sector. They are taken as early childhood educator for a very simple reason, that there is no pool of trained teachers. So far, NEP 2020, before NEP 2020 came, early childhood education was not even a part of Education Department of India.
Okay.
It went under ICDL, that is women and pregnancy and lactation and child welfare, etc.
Okay.
So there is no structured design that if you have to be a preschool owner, you need certain kind of qualification. Or if you want to start a school, you need to have certain kind of structure. And that is why this mushrooming happened.
Yeah.
Even today, you see a lot of schools, they start thinking that it's a good money, let's get children in and we can just take care of them and there is money in it. However, it's changing beautifully because of NEP 2020 and also awareness of parents that what they are getting into. When we come across these teachers, there are two kinds. One who are passionate and got into the field, and one who got into field because it's easy. Which profession gives you 1.5 month paid holiday? Which profession everybody comes and says, I love you? So you get children hugging you and saying, I love you practically every day. So for a woman, it's a joy thing to do. However, the ones who are passionate, they definitely upgrade themselves time and again. They research, R&D. As IPTTA, Integrated Preschool Teachers Training Academy of ours, we also train them online and schools invite us to take their modules offline. Okay. So people who are passionate, they find their way how to upgrade. People who are not passionate, they continue their journey being lukewarm. So as IPTTA and as me, our focus and vision is to create so many teachers training academy across and produce quality teachers that nobody has to look for untrained teachers. So that is where we want to change entire equation in early childhood sector.
So another very interesting topic and something that I would personally be a witness to while I was in school is many a times parents don't want to parent the kid. They just want the teachers to do all the job, which is insane for them to think because it's not their own child to start off with. And second thing, the child is with them only for a few hours. But the excuse these parents would have, what are we paying you for?
Absolutely.
So in these kind of bizarre scenarios, how do you firefight?
Right. So I'll go back to your previous question and connect to this question. When we start training these freshers who come to us for offline, it's not only the theory we teach. Okay. We teach them child psychology, different pedagogies, how organization called school works, what are the modern methods of teaching child, how do you understand their basic needs, and how do you deal with them personally. Also, how do you handle the peers, management, parents, which are the stakeholders in this community. Once emotional balance is well done, you are consistently and persistently working for the cause, it becomes a little easier to deal. Teaching is not difficult, but everything around teaching is challenging. The stress that walks in with that. Now, coming to parents, most of the schools are worried that how to deal with parents. Personally, I feel it takes a village to raise a child. And now we don't have that village at home. When I'm pretty ancient and when we grew up, we had joint families and lots of siblings and lots of cousins around us. Today's child is single or maximum 2 children or 3 children. They do not know how to share. They do not know what to do. The parents are busy coping with life stress, double income. It's unfair to blame them. So if they are paying, they should get their worth. And school should gear up for that. Even if 6 hours, let's make it quality 6 hours and teach parents what to do at home. Because they are not educators. It is like going to a doctor and saying, look, doctor, I have fever. And doctor says, he checks and says, yes, you have fever. Okay, will you pay the doctor? Will you pay? You won't pay. Doctor has to heal. He has to make sure he's giving some tablet to you. He's giving some kind of method to recover. Similarly, as a teacher, I know the child better than the parent. Unfortunately, there is no license for parenting. You just become parent, right? So as educator, it is our job as a school to help them to raise them better. Most of the parents come with Google knowledge, half-baked knowledge. Let's help them to understand. And again, I'm repeating, with NEP coming in, now entire standard is going to change. I have parents who argue with us that my child is 2.5 and he knows A to Z, 1 to 20. Why can't he be in nursery first, Why do I have to wait? But it's just a rote learning that has happened. What about the intellectual, cognitive quotient? What about the emotional quotient? What about social and physical quotient of the child? Child is still 2.5 by that quotient. So let's breathe. Let's take it easy. Let child be a child. Right?
So another thing that I wanted to understand personally also is a lot of parents struggle with dealing with their child in certain scenarios. For starters, it can be the child denying going to the school itself, right? The teacher can't come home and drag the child with them. So what advice would you give parents on how to make the child love going to the school? After, I'm sure people who are your alumni, they know the tricks to keep the child engaged and want them to come back. But that initial starting hiccup, what can parents do to make that better?
Thank you so much again. We have very famous thing that settling time is the most difficult time. Especially there's something called pre-nursery or playgroup and nursery. First 1 month, nobody wants to be a teacher there. Because there's only crying happening. And isn't that natural, Fuju? I mean, if I get you out of your comfort zone, you wouldn't like it. I mean, I'm sure you didn't go to school in 7th standard thinking, yay, today I'm going to learn Pythagoras theorem, give it to me. That was not your idea at all. Your idea was to go and have fun with your friends. Go and have fun with material that you couldn't have at home, like a football ground or a basketball ground. That was your idea to go to school. Similarly, as parents, I would request parents to get child school ready. And schools need to create a parent orientation program for that, where a psychologist will guide the parent what to say to the child. It's a very structured program, so that instead of saying, Jaldi se khana kha, otherwise teacher will beat you. Your teacher wants to be angel and you have already created a demon out of her. So, as a parent, talk about what you like in school. Talk about how much fun it's going to be. Talk about what all slides and swings and, the equipments you're going to play with. And end of the day, I'm going to come and pick you up. You're going to be back with me. It's fun time that you're going to have with people of your age. So in simple and small, little bites, feed the child, get them excited to go to a new place like a park, like a garden. So, it'll become easy for a school and a teacher to invite them, welcome them, and child will be mentally ready. So a lot of work needs to be done with parents before we work with child. Most of the cases that we get for children, I feel it's not the child who needs counseling. It is the parent who needs counseling, because we are into either hyper parenting or we are neglecting.
Yeah.
So as you rightly said, that they'll say, I paid the money. I mean, now it's your problem, not my problem. But the child is going to have your name end of the day, not school's name. So you better pay attention, and it's a joy. Parenting is a joy. They should enjoy it. So most of the time parents come to me and say, how do I handle my child? And I wonder, is it a door that you have to handle them? They are the gift given to you by Almighty. Just enjoy. They are given to you because you deserve.
Yeah.
And if you have owned it, I mean, it's a joy. Were you getting 90% as a child? Why do you expect from this little soul all that?
Yeah.
Just let them be. That's the best way to be.
And also, I want you to touch up on this topic where a child picks up on the smallest of the habit, be it your vocabulary, your body language, and stuff like that. Many a times, parents don't realize that the child is picking up those bad habits from you, and then you go back to the school and complain to the teacher saying he's picking it up from the other kids.
True, very true. So, as per psychology, we say that 90% of the brain development happens by the age of 6.
Okay.
So it's a very absorbent mind, that anything it happens, not necessarily only parents, also the social media now, or the TV, or the cartoons, or school, of course, the peers, the work staff that you have, they are listening and watching everybody. The moment you teach, they stop listening. The moment you are yourself, they are just grabbing it by leaps and bounds. And that is exactly where children pick up. It's called that most of the brain neurons are mirror neurons.
Okay.
Under the age of 5. And that is the time child picks up habits, forms habits. So when we brush our teeth, we exactly take same amount of time every day.
Yeah.
And that is a habit form in first 3-4 years of life.
And
you sustain. Yes, absolutely do that. I mean, at that time, your mom said 3 times right, 3 times left, upar, niche. You exactly continue doing that. That's the impact. Anything that you learned in childhood, it never goes away. You might not know that you know it.
Yeah.
However, it's still with you in your unconscious, subconscious brain. And that's the impact of early childhood. I mean, you ask a 1-year-old child, how's the dada? And he'll do.
Oh, yeah.
That's a mirror neuron. Yeah. So they pick it up. I always tell parents who tell their children he's useless. He's used less. Yeah. You do not know the potential of that child. A lot of them want them to be the king like Alexander. In India we call it Sikandar.
Yeah.
Have you seek andar? That's a little truth.
Yeah.
When parents come to me and they have a long list of complaint, my child doesn't do this, he's... I ask them, okay, I agree with you, I have made a note. Can you tell me 5 strengths of your child? And I promise you, Fuju, most of them fumble. It's not that they don't know the strength of the child, but they have never listed it out. Why are we not looking at the positive in the environment? Why are we after the negativity? Are we not having any negatives? We are very okay with it. We want all the concessions in the world, but when it comes to child, he has to be perfect. Why? So again, child, let them be children.
But don't you feel many times when you ask them this, they justify it saying, yeah, we are not a 90%, we were never a 90% kid because our parents failed us in giving us that little extra, but we as parents are giving that little extra, so we want that 90%. So in those cases, what do you tell them?
I tell them very simply, do you feel that you're successful today in whatever you're doing? And most of the time they'll say yes.
Okay.
If with that you could be successful, now you are giving little extra, don't you think they'll be successful?
Yeah.
I know it sounds very spiritual, but as a matter of fact, we put it in a manner that your child can do this, can you do this? At age of 2, could you manage anything digital? We didn't have it.
Yeah.
We didn't have it. I was only good at wiping my nose by the age of 4. My daughter went onto the stage and she was reciting a poem. So thanks to us as a parent, we are giving them that exposure to become smarter. I agree. However, why so much expectation? Are you doing because they have to deliver? Or you're doing because you want to do it?
Yeah. Yes.
Our parents were very casual in parenting us, which was healthy, I feel.
Yeah.
Because we were not looked all the time, that helicopter parenting.
Yeah.
It's suffocating at times.
It's either that or it's completely neglected. Yeah.
Completely uninvolved. That, I have done everything. Now you go to that class. Have you asked the child? Have you sat down with the child and asked that, what do you enjoy? Have you ever listened to the child? Most of the elders, I will not say only parents, why to blame them? Most of the adults are busy asking questions to the child.
Yeah.
Have you eaten? Have you done your homework? Have you done this? Have you done that?
Not just that. There's a lot of these toxic questions that get asked to kids. Like I personally would face it when I was a kid. This is probably the most toxic question that I would get asked is, who do you like more, your mom or your dad?
Yeah, true.
You ask the same question to the parents, do you like your elder kid or the younger kid? They won't have an answer. How do you expect that little kid to have an answer
But
to that?
they have answer, no, Fuja? If father is in the room, they'll say Papa.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're smart. Don't worry about. I use this in my workshop a lot. I say, do not underestimate the power of a common child. They are too good. They will know how to manipulate. They will know who is good at what.
And not just that, they know when to answer and when not to answer.
Exactly. So don't worry about them. They know exactly what they're doing. They're very logical. They're very clear. This generation is blessed. You call it Gen Z or Gen Alpha. They are sorted. But as adults, are we sorted? My entire zeal, my entire passion in making these adults adult. What do I mean by that? Do you know what you speak, what expressions you are giving, and how it is impacting the environment? Do you know that your one word is going to leave impact, very strong impact? For an example, which was your favorite subject in school, if there was any?
I don't remember. Probably math.
Math. Now, the reason you liked math was you were good at it.
I wasn't.
You weren't? Then why was it your favorite?
So I had this one teacher. I went to school, college and all of that. Multiple teachers. But I had this one tuition teacher who I feel, apart from my parents, if any person has any credit in whatever good I am today, is because of that sir. I fell in love with the subject because I met him.
Absolutely right.
And he would spend hours with me. So after a point, it never felt like I'm with a teacher. Even today, I respect him so much that if I see him on the street, I make sure I park my vehicle, go to him, bow down, meet him, and then come back.
That's the power.
Yeah.
That's the power. The subjects don't matter. Yeah. A person who delivered it made the subject so interesting. I believe in a quote, teacher who loves teaching. Teach children to love learning. It's so simple, but it's very impactful. As a parent, if I want my child to do well, my job is to make things interesting. That child wants to study. Child should come to me and say, help me, I need help in this. Same thing goes as a teacher. Now learning is at fingertip, knowledge is at fingertips. But how do you make it interesting?
Yeah.
How do you make child motivated to come back tomorrow and ask you that, I loved what you did yesterday, can I have it again? Yeah. What are you going to teach today? Now that curiosity, that is very important for the child to develop. And that is the whole idea at IPTTA that we are trying to build teachers with. That emotionally, are you an adult? Again, I'll come back to the definition of adult. What I feel is a spiritually charged person.
Okay.
Without any personal benefit, I'm going to tell you what is good for you and not good for you, is spiritually charged. Adult, of course, above 18. However, a person before speaking or expressing is thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So we all know Newton's third law, that each and every action has equal and opposite reaction. But that works on non-living things. If you say a bad word to me, I don't need to say a bad word to you. I'm a human. I'm an adult. I take a pause when action happens. I think and I respond. If that is a teacher in the class, every child will enjoy studying because it's going to help them to become a better human being. They will go home, implement and feel good about themselves. The self-esteem will be good. They will not feel unwanted.
And it also will make them feel like I am able to do what this person is saying. So there's relatability that is built.
Absolutely right. And it works. It works like a magic. People clap for me when I did it. Oh my God. So it's a little beginning. to get into a social rules. When somebody is saying, and if I'm doing, it's helping me. So imagine the adult this is going to become. If I'm forming good habits in early years, for an example, when my daughter was 4, I was studying and I would do homework. She had no homework, but just to copy me, she would take books and, do something with it. And that became a habit for her. And this is a child today, we have to tell, bas kar yaar, abhi kitna padegi. Thank God.
Yeah.
And she would come and say, guys, I have exam. Can you just reduce the volume of your movie that is going on? Have you made your child interested in doing whatever they do? Whatever task they take up, are they interested in doing and are they completing it? As adult, that is our job. That are we encouraging them? In the beginning, you said that, they are spending such little time at school. How teacher can impact what parent has to do? The reason is parent has selfish motive. When they instruct a child, there is something, dekho mera bachcha kitna smart hai.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas teacher has no selfish motive. So when teacher says, unknowingly your child thinks, acha, she's saying, no, it'll work.
Yeah.
And it's consistent.
Yeah.
It's absolutely persistent. Mother will say, haath dho lo one day, but teacher will say every day. You will notice these smart little human beings, the moment the guests come home, then they'll go to mommy and say, I can eat ice cream, mommy. Okay, they will jump on the sofa now.
Yeah.
And the mother is, because she can't be consistent.
Yeah.
So it's not that the mother is doing anything wrong. Let's not blame the parents. They have no time. They have no idea what to do. Rather, as a school, as a teacher, I need to help them out.
Yeah.
So.
Another thing where I know it's changing now, but it was there very present when I was in school was there was hardly any importance given to extracurricular activities. It was more like, what are you going to do? What are you going to get out of doing all of this, playing sports and all of that? Books is where you're supposed to be. Or it would at the most be, enjoy all of this in your summer holidays. Apart from that, none of this is ever going to help you or anything. True. So what advice would you give to parents who are very close and uptight about letting their child explore this? Because I personally feel playing sports makes you realize a lot of things about yourself and also about your peers. True. Individual sports especially. So what is your advice to parents
Absolutely
for that?
Right. Fuju, you were very lucky to have summer vacations. These children today have no summer vacations.
Okay.
They go for summer camps.
Yeah.
Okay. Every minute of their day is scheduled.
Yeah.
From class 6, they go for Fuji or, IIT training. Their entire childhood is kind of changed.
And another thing is the parents are more worked up the moment summer is around. They're more worked up saying, I need to set a schedule so that I don't get stuck in all of this.
Absolutely right. So that is where I come back with casual parenting. I enjoyed 3 months of vacation practically. Okay. And you had time with your cousin and you understood people staying around. You played with them. You learned your life skills, survival skills, communication skills from them. Yeah. Now, children are treated like prince and princesses at home. Okay, they need to be taught at school all this. So earlier, school was teaching ABCD. Now YouTube is teaching all that. Yeah. School has to teach life skill, survival skill, communication skill. The whole ball game has changed. Yeah. The parents who are worried about marks, who are worried about academics all the time, a simple reality check. 10th result comes. Before that, your child is admitted in 11th standard. Nobody waits for the 10th. 12th result comes, and if you want to go in a professional graduation course like engineering or medicine or anything else, you have to give entrance test. The 12th mark sheet doesn't matter. Yeah. You're preparing child to give exam, and that's fair. That's all it is about. Why in early years go after marks? Create a bond as a parent. That is more important. In my times, parents would hardly speak to children and relate with what do you want, how do you want. Now so much of exposure and option children have, they dictate terms at home. Okay, what they like happens at home. Okay. I'll tell you, look at social media. In my times, women used to sell things. For an example, advertisements, even if it is razor, there's a woman. Yeah. Couple, they will say, jawab nahi. But then there's a woman next to him. Now, everything is sold with children keeping as model. Pora po daag achhe hain. Okay, because people who are buying are parents and they are completely into parenting. What I didn't get, I'm going to give it to my child. But what does child really need? He doesn't need your money. He doesn't need your toys. He doesn't need those dolls and cars. What he needs is genuine interest in him. Somebody who listens and replies, responds, plays, spends time where you're having fun, not instruction. You're not being judged, evaluated, criticized. I request each and every parent out there, breathe, enjoy yourself with your child, because it's only once that they are growing up. And after that, you're just going to watch them and be passive about it, because now they are growing too far and flying away. So breathe. Extracurricular makes them human. Empathy is what is missing in today's child, because they have not seen it. Yeah. They are so protected. Yeah. I have seen parents coming to school, rushing to the in charges. See, there is a bruise. There's a scratch, not bruise, scratch. How did this happen? Hello, my knees and ankles were throughout, bruised in the childhood. And I knew what pain is all about. Yeah. This child today has never experienced discomfort, never experienced pain. They are never hungry or thirsty because they are fed before they need it. Yeah. So we need to be very careful whom are we raising. I'm going to be a little harsh and actually mean it. I mean it. I see so many parents who feed children even when they are 5 and 6. Yeah. Because they want faster. If I feed, I can move on to the next chore.
Or they have one person with the kid.
Yes, of course. So what about hands and legs of the child? Are you using it? You're making them handicapped. And that is why eye-hand coordination, fine motor skills, gross motor skills are happening. Yeah. Now this child doesn't want to write. Yeah. It's child's fault. No, not at all. He's not been given practice. Yeah. What's your favorite food, Fuju?
As I can think of sushi right now.
Sushi. So if I feed you sushi, how will you feel?
Won't like it.
Won't like it. Not because you don't like me, because you want to enjoy the texture. You want to enjoy that aroma. What are we doing to these children? We are taking away childhood from them because we are in hurry. Yeah. Childhood cannot be hurried. Let them be children. Let them enjoy themselves. We were mischievous. We could afford to run around. They are not allowed to run around and fall. It's a joy to be a child. You and I would enjoy if somebody says, okay, there is a party where you can be just yourself and be a child and throw balloons at each other and things at each other. It'll be such a joy. These children don't know such things. I have a case where a child was brought to me, and brilliant child. Teachers had no complaint. Very obedient child. Guess the problem was, if you don't give him instruction, he wouldn't do anything. There is no self-initiation. There is no self-efficacy. They are not motivated to do anything on their own. They have to be told, coloring, oh sure. Want to do this? Oh sure. The mind has been robotically planned. What are we doing to them? It's scary. Yeah. And that is where we come into the picture. And I want every household, every woman out there who has a little child, please understand them. Let them breathe. Let them enjoy every bit of life, because it's never going to... childhood memories are the most beautiful memories in the world. And let them have them. Not in front of the babysitter called TV or cartoons. Just like that.
Yeah. And also, like you told, that it's good that parents are preparing their children for exams, but there's something that follows after that, the result. So many a times there's no understanding even from the parents' side how to deal with their own failures also in the first place, which is why they're not able to teach how to deal with failure and that. And second thing is, a lot of parenting is done on the principle of fear. Do this, otherwise you'll get beat up. If you don't do this, you will get beat up. So let us assume a child has been victim of all of this. Let's just say either constant blackmail of fear or getting beat up and stuff like that. How do you equip your teachers to deal with a case like that and make things better?
Thank you so much for asking. I keep speaking about it, and this is my joy to share it again. Exam is not exam of a child. It is exam of the teacher. What she has taught, how she has taught. If she has taught well, child will do well. Number one, tell parent it is not child's exam. It is my exam as a teacher. So if child loves me, child will do well. Let's begin this habit of performing. For an example, you learn something new. You want to perform and make sure that I have learned it well, right? It's just that. Exam is something beautiful. Like when my daughter was growing, I told her, see, exam is half day school. Isn't that a joy? During school days, you have to study 4 subjects after school days because you have homework in each subject. During exam, only one subject. Exams are fun, man. You put effort during exam, I will treat you on those days. Looking at your effort, so I would give her a clip or I would give her a rubber band because you did so well on the days of exam. Result is just a fruit of what you have been doing. That's not important. That's a sweet taste in the mouth. Once in a while, there are some mistakes, there are some bad days. You just get frozen. It's human and you fail. Failure is part of life.
Yes.
When you walked, you stumbled, you fell, but you woke up, you got up, and you walked again, and now you were more careful. So as a human, we all fail. I'm not saying only academic failure. You fail in so many other ways. So it's beautiful rather that child fails earlier in life. Resilience is better. Bounce back is better. As a parent, I'm sure now that when I might not be around, my child will still get up from there and build again. Rather, I raised my daughter with a very clear idea that if I'm not there tomorrow, will she be able to take her decisions? Again, it sounds very cruel to think about it. I myself am very connected with my mom. She passed away 12 years back. But till now, I think if I do this, how will she feel? Wouldn't she be proud of me? But I survived without her and I'm proud that, I'm her daughter. I raised my child with the same way. That tomorrow if I'm not there, will she be able to lead independent life, make independent decision? I think that is a goal of parenting. And I've touched
Even in parenting, there's this one thing where, like you said, being able to take decisions, a lot of grown-ups don't know how to take decision or rather don't want to take any decision because they don't want the blame if things go sideways. So what advice would you give to parents like that? It's always the mother and the father trying to push the final decision onto each other because they themselves are not very experienced in order to handle what is going to follow after that.
True. So as parents, definitely this is a very big question that how do we go ahead? And if we are taking decisions on behalf of the child and his life, how are we going to go about it? Parenting is a team effort. Okay? In this scenario, we do have single parents and we will have to learn to be an individual. One of the partner is busy or not there, you will have to stand up. It's your offspring. You cannot blame it on circumstances because nobody controls them. As a parent, if let's say it hypothetically, if I have to take decision for my daughter Nakshatra, I would put 2 or 3 options, right, plus and minus. Get her involved if she's above 12, get her involved in it. And that will become easier task. If she's making an error, if it's a year that's gone wrong, right?
That's fine.
That's okay. That's okay. But our bond didn't suffer because of that. I don't have to bully her or I don't have to run away and make her mistake. Let her make a mistake and feel burden. Feel that, oh my God, I'll never be able to take decision alone again.
Yeah.
Be a part. You are a parent, a partner in everything that happens. Whether it's school, it's teacher, it's education, it's extracurricular, it's child upbringing. You are the owner.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm using this word very clearly. You are the boss. Yes, because you are the only adult. I come back to that. My problem is I meet so many people, but I meet very few adults.
Makes sense. Now, in that process, also many a times what happens is, like you said, one person's busy and the other one has to take up the responsibility. In many cases like that, I'd like to call it that good cop, bad cop parenting. and that kind of leaves a bad impact on the child. Like, for example, it's like you said, Indian women have the luxury to stay home. They are available, so automatically they are the good parent. The fathers are the bad parent. And then that again whole vicious cycle of fear starts. Aane do papa ko, batati hu, and all of that starts.
Absolutely.
And then the child grows up actually hating the father. If it's a guy child, he grows up and then he actually realizes the kind of effort the father has actually put in.
Absolutely right.
And all your life, you have wasted that bond thinking he's a bad guy.
True.
Yeah, aata sar mein dard deta hu dekho.
He comes out to off the TV.
Yes.
He comes out to sit straight. I agree with you. Luckily, the equations are changing. The fathers are also equally participative. Rather, in this generation, to let you know, the mothers are the bad cop because they spend more time and they discipline the child, whereas father pampers, and that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely fine with it because when child is unwell, when child needs anything, he doesn't go to the father. He goes to the mother.
Yeah.
So mother has this advantage that end of the day, I'm going to get my hug, I'm going to get my love because there's this umbilical cord which is always present.
Yeah.
So as women, we should be taking the charge of child's life, not only because we are available, also because I think we are more sane and more holistic. Guys, I think they think in departments. So, I like them to do their work and keep quiet. Let women take care of this responsibility if they're good at it.
Yeah.
If guy is good at it, please. I mean, I don't believe in any kind of sexism here. But whoever is good, whichever partner is good at it, please go ahead and take a role. There is nothing wrong in stopping the child from doing something wrong. Disciplining doesn't mean corporal punishment. Disciplining, for an example, I don't remember shouting, yelling, or beating my child. But if you ask her, she's scared of me. It's my eyes that she says, don't look. And I think I'm successful. Whereas the day she was born, Dr. Ravi came and said, oh, she's so pretty, don't ever tell her that I'll shout at her because I'm not going to. So I knew my job very well. I am very clear that who's going to be the boss in the house when it comes to children. And I think it made a lot of sense. As partners have clarity.
Yeah.
I have decided what extracurricular, I have decided what school, I have decided how are we going to, make the disciplinary plan for her. And luckily it worked out.
Yep.
He didn't interfere, thank God.
Okay. So before we wrap this up, one question that I ask everyone is, what is that one thing you're going to take away from the entire experience of doing this podcast and sharing your valuable knowledge with us?
Sure. I very strongly believe that happy woman is happy house. And as I was talking to you, I realize it more that every woman, if they understand what is a need, it's not about you being targeted or you being, used or exploited. I think we have created a need that we are needed. People depend on us.
Yeah.
So, Fuju, I am so happy that young generation like you people are interested in understanding other people. And I see it very, very valuable that youth is carrying this message. And I'm sure with today's, entire conversation that we had, a lot of women are going to be inspired to understand their child better, bring them up better. A lot of teachers are going to think about what are they doing in the classroom. This podcast, one thing I'm sure of, that our conversation is going to bring smile on a lot of faces and help them to bring up their children better. Yeah. And end of it, I just want to end it with saying, happiness is something you give it away. Happiness is something you give it away. Give it away. Give it away. It comes right back to you. It is like a magic penny. Lend it, spend it, give it away. It comes right back to you. Thank you so much.
Nice. So guys, if you like today's podcast and you feel it's going to help any of your friends or anyone you know, then please do like,
share, subscribe what Project in You is doing. And thank you, Fuju, for having me. I hope to meet all of you soon.